Hi everyone, it's Dr. Tracy Scapester with Embodied Learnings. Today's activity demo, we're going to be talking about instruments. Now I have a number of instruments that I'd like to share with you, and I'm going to talk about two things. So the first is that I really want to talk about instruments as a way of setting expectations and guidelines with your students that really helps for classroom management. So it really allows for the class to move smoothly and for students to be able to be safe. The other is that I'm going to explain how you can use instruments as a way to get students moving. So let's talk about safety. The first thing that I do with students is to let them know that there are certain expectations, and one is that we need to be really careful of each other. We need to look and we need to listen when we are moving. So the drum is a great way of getting students' attention because it's nice and loud. And this is the rhythm that I like to play when I get students' attention. So I like this ready, stop, which is also stop, look, and listen. So if students are moving around the room, instead of me having to shout with my voice or use a whistle, I like to use my drum. So I always say to the students, when you hear this sound, they know that they have to stop their bodies, they have to look at me, and they have to open their ears, and they have to listen. So that's the first thing. Now, if you don't have a drum, there are other instruments that you can use. What I really love also are instruments that I can blow into. So for example, I have a train whistle. This is also an amazing way of getting students' attention. So you could play the train whistle, which also allows your students to know, oh, I need to stop, look, and listen. I have something else I can show you, and that is the slide whistle. This is really fun. Again, it's whatever it is that you can use to capture the attention of the students. I also find that when you have more than one instrument and you use them at different times, it can really, really help. Sometimes when we hear the same thing over and over and over again, we stop hearing it. So it's nice to do different things. So that's what I like to do, is have instruments that really get students' attention. And then it really helps when you get them to do movement. So I like to start by using a drum to get students to do locomotor movement around the room. So for example, you could start with a simple walk and just tap the beat on the drum. So as the students are walking through the space, whether it be the classroom or the gymnasium or even outside, you can play this beat, and then when you want them to stop, so they know that when I hear the beat of the drum, that means that I move. And when I hear that ready, stop, I have to stop, look, and listen. Now, of course, you can change your locomotor movements. That's the nice thing about the drum. So you can also do jumps. You might also do a run. You can also do a gallop. So the drum works really well. I also sometimes like to say it's my talking drum. And my talking drum has a lot to say. My drum can say walk, my drum can say jump, my drum can say run, my drum can say gallop. So students really get to know this instrument. And again, it really helps give them sort of those expectations of moving and stopping so that we can create safety in the room. Now, I also like using the drum to explore emotions. So you can say, what would it look like if we were to move happy? What does happy look like? So you can imagine, what are those sounds that you can make on the drum that might interpret this idea of happiness? So again, you could tap, you might rub, you might wiggle your fingers. So it's very interpretive. And then ready, stop. You could also do other emotions like angry. You might do surprised. So again, lots of ways to play. So the drum is such a beautiful instrument to use. Now, I also want to just show a couple of other things that you can use. So I also have a wood block. Wood blocks are great. Again, they work really well where you can tap on the wood block You can tap loud, you can tap quiet, you can tap fast, you can tap slow. And they also really project their sound. So a wood block is another great one. When it comes to different emotions, there are also other instruments that you can do. So instead of just using your drum, if you wanted to do emotions, you might pick out the shakers. So this could be afraid, or it could be excited. So again, you can use instruments to be very interpretive. Another wonderful instrument for using in the dance room is the tambourine. And this also works well for ready, stop. So I hope that gives you some idea of how it is that you can use instruments. So ways in which you can use them to create expectations for students to stop, look, and listen, and also instruments that you can use to help students move. So those locomotor movements, or even getting in our bodies and feeling emotions. And then once you really get good at it, then of course you can explore non-locomotor with the locomotor, and you can add sort of levels and tempo, because instruments are just so great, again, for really working with students. And you can even interpret what they're moving by show me how you move, and I'm going to play what I see. So have a lot of fun. I hope this activity demo was helpful for today. And again, we post these every 2 weeks. And if you subscribe to our newsletter, we also have exclusive demos just for our newsletter subscribers. So go to our website at www.embodiedlearnings.com. And until next time, thank you for being here, and I wish you well.